200 years ago, in a world that was often ruled by silence, one man dared to write a blueprint for freedom. His name was Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and his ideas about a free press would become a cornerstone of civil rights in modern India. So how did he do it? Let's dive in.
But first, just take a second and imagine a world where your voice is completely silenced, where you can't call out injustice, where new ideas have no room to breathe. I mean, really, how can a society ever grow if its people can't talk to each other, or to the people in charge?
Well, for the people of early 19th century British India, this wasn't just some thought experiment. It was their everyday reality. The public square was quiet, and any voice that dared to question authority was shut down, and shut down fast.
But, it's often in that kind of oppressive silence that a revolutionary idea begins to take root. An idea that would challenge the very foundation of colonial rule and give a voice back to a nation.
The person planting that seed was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. And listen, he wasn't just suggesting a minor tweak to the system. No, what he was proposing was a truly radical solution, a free and open press for the people of India.
So what was at the heart of his argument? What was the core belief driving him? Well, it was a simple, yet incredibly powerful idea about a right that belongs to every single one of us. You see, for Roy, freedom of expression was not some gift from the government. It was a natural right. He was channeling the great Enlightenment thinkers here, arguing that because we humans have reason and a conscience, we have an inherent right to express ourselves. It's a right we're born with, not one a ruler can just grant or take away. In this quote right here, it just perfectly captures his conviction. Roy believed that only corrupt, unjust governments are afraid of the truth. A fair government, he argued, should actually welcome a public conversation. It's a tool to make things better.
So, okay, that's the big idea. But how did Roy imagine a free press would actually work on the ground? What was its practical purpose? Let's take a look at his blueprint. Roy basically saw the power of a free press standing on three essential pillars. First, giving a voice to the voiceless. Second, holding rulers accountable. And third, driving social reform and progress. Okay, so pillar one, giving the people a voice. A free press creates a public forum, right? A place for sharing problems, debating ideas, and just keeping everyone informed. And Roy didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk, editing newspapers like Sambad Kaumudi to educate the public.
The second pillar is the press as a watchdog. Roy argued that the real threat to a state wasn't rebellion from the people, it was unchecked power at the top. He believed a free press would shine a bright light on what the government was doing and stop the kind of corruption that loves to hide in the dark.
And for Roy, this wasn't just a theory. In 1823, a really key moment, the colonial government brought in these incredibly strict press laws. And what did Roy do? He led a protest. His argument was so clear. Public criticism isn't an attack, it's a course correction. It's a way to help rulers fix their mistakes before they turn into disasters. And that brings us to the third pillar, which really connects to Roy's larger vision for a modern India. He saw a free press as an engine of progress, a powerful tool for spreading knowledge, challenging superstitions, and sparking a real intellectual awakening across the whole nation. But here's where Roy's argument gets really clever. He didn't just make a moral case for a free press. No, he made a strategic one, an argument that was actually designed to appeal to the rulers themselves. This slide here just lays out his logic brilliantly. He basically presented the British with two paths. You've got the first column, rule by silence, which he said creates fear and eventually leads to rebellion. And then you have the second column, rule by openness, which creates understanding, loyalty, and actually strengthens the state. So the key takeaway here, the genius move, was Roy arguing that a government that explains its policies will earn loyalty through understanding and reason, not just raw fear. It was a pretty wild idea for the time, that transparency creates stability, not chaos.
So what was the lasting impact of Roy's blueprint? What's his legacy today?
Well, his impact was profound. He is truly remembered as a pioneer of civil rights, a champion for government accountability, and a tireless advocate for using reason and logic in public life.
And that protest back in 1823 wasn't just some small act of defiance. It's now seen as one of the very first demands for civil rights in modern Indian history. He truly laid the groundwork for the freedoms that generations of freedom fighters who came after him would fight for. So here we are, 200 years after Roy took his stand, and his fight for a free press feels more relevant than ever. It leaves us with a pretty vital question to chew on. How healthy is that public conversation he fought so hard to create today?